Dear family, you know that I have been the majority of my life vegan. If you are still wavering about if veganism is healthy or not for you, go and take a look on my earlier videos and how I actually did look back in my first video. Let me look at my first video that I did ever uploaded. So you can see that I look far more healthy than I did do in the past. Where's my video? Come on. Come on. Why do I not show the window? Do I have that right now? Is it romantic? No, yeah. So you can see this is how I did look a couple of years ago. And this is how I now look. This versus this. So don't say that I look bad right now. I don't look worse than I did. And I have nothing be. I'm a very big guy. I also don't do a workout. So that's why I do look like this. I'm also quite tall. For the people that don't know that. Not my family at least. They know I'm 6'6". But yes, you all know, all my family members, all my mother, my father, my sister. You all know that you don't need to eat animals to survive. I'm the living example of that. Sister, I am the living example that you don't have to eat animals. So why try to justify it, the amount of animals that you eat? Even if it is not so big as many others. But still, eating animals is unnecessary. You can get all the vitamins and minerals that you want. You can ask me. I have a whole list of vitamins and minerals. And you know that I have a whole list of them. Or do you not? I can show them now. I do not show it. Sorry, I have a problem with my things right. Vitamin C, destroyed by heat. So cooking, so eating more rolled vegetables, apricot, carrots, broccoli, greens. Like I did say, if you want to scroll over it later, I can put them in the description below. This whole list. A lot of vitamins and minerals. Probably a lot of you where you have never heard of. Also. So, I know, my sister, that you love animals. You have a very cute animal, it's pet. You truly care about it. But a pig, just like your pet, wants to be free and don't want to be abused. You know that you don't need to eat animals because your big brother have not eaten animals for a long time. All vitamins, minerals, anything comes from plants first and foremost. I get it saying and show in this extended list sources of many different vitamins and minerals. Mother, I want that you think about this. I know that you truly care about me and my sister. Imagine the position of a mother cow on a dairy farm. Mother cows, just like you, love their babies dearly. Mother cows on dairy farms often scream for moms, for the stolen baby, to give him back to her. They want the best for their child. Dairy cows are even sometimes known to hide their babies from farmers because they don't want them to taken away from them. Like Joey Carbstrong also shows on his videos. Imagine that you are that mother cow. That somebody take you, take me or my sister away from you because somebody else wanted to sell your milk to somebody else for profit. Do you not want that this evil stops on the moment? Please put yourself in the position of the mother cow on the dairy farm. Dear mother,
las mujeres dan leche solamente cuando tienen hijos. Sí, entonces, nuestro propósito es que estén paridas y preñadas permanentemente. Ideal dentro de lo técnico es que apenas caiga el ternero al suelo, se extraiga. El ternero está un rato ahí, la madre lo lame, pero todo ese contacto nosotros tratamos de evitarlo al máximo.
and yes, those metal cages where they put the baby puppy calves in, there are all over the world. There are not only in some Arab country, there are not only in the United States. Those cages, I've seen them with my own eyes. There are all over Europe. Mother, father, sister, you all know that I cannot lie. That I cannot it. I'm not a politician. I say things like I think them. And that freaks out because people are not used to people who are totally honest. Most people want to have a person that say them what I want to hear, directly what I want to hear. That's not me. And therefore, why do you dismiss or say that I'm extreme when I speak up for the ones that are truly oppressed? Yes, some people are maybe oppressed to a certain amount, but no single member of our species, I'm positive about it, is oppressed to the degree that the animals are abused in the animal agriculture industry.
Pero no tiene que tener contacto con su madre, cero. Entonces ni siquiera dejamos que les tome del calostro de ella. Nosotros compramos calostro, calostro es la primera leche. Nosotros compramos en otro lado y se la damos a esa.
cuando yo llegué, castigaban a los machos por ser machos. Les daban 2 litros, 1,5 litros de leche. Eso lo perjudicaba más porque la mayoría se moría, se enfermaba.
Los machos nosotros los criamos y los engordamos y los vendemos para carne. Que no es una raza de carne premium, no es el bistec que te va a comer en un restaurante, pero embutido, salchicha, carnaza.
Al final es un negocio. El negocio hay que hacerlo productivo. No pueden ser libres. Es un sistema y un negocio y hay que hacerlo que sea rentable.
Están siempre metidas en su corral. No salen nunca.
Que hay mucha gente que dice, que los animales los tratan mal, los tienen encerrados y todas esas cosas. Son animales. Nosotros somos personas, somos humanos.
Please, why do you make excuses? Mother, sister, father. There's no excuse against veganism. Accept it. Apologize for the way you're living. Make a move and move forward. I can give you some advice. You can check out Challenge 22 for recipe ideas. But the reason I feel confident about you is based on the simple fact is that you all claim that you are good people. But good people don't cause unnecessarily harm. Good people, when they find out that they have made a mistake, make a plea and move forward, and are not pressured into doing bad things because of social pressure. That makes you not a good person. Please not. Kon het all. Two drops of common sense, if you ask me. But again, put yourself in the victim's position. Like I often say to you, if you are not the victim, don't imagine it entirely from your point of view. Because if you are not the victim, it becomes pretty easy to mock your victims, make fun of their entire existence, label them stupid and dirty, and say, how can they ask for my mercy when they don't act like me, when they don't speak my language? How can they be so arrogant to expect me to give mercy to my victims? Let me be bothering with other stuff. That's easy to say. To dismiss the suffering of the ones that are in your oppression, that are in your mercy, on your mercy. But when you are watch things from the victim's position, take a look at a lot of difference. And a Sutton from that point of view. If you are watching things from the oppressor's position, and going to defense that position, we can go to a very dark place. A very dark place. And that's what I think is wrong with this planet. I think one of the things that is wrong with so-called humanity right now, if you are right now listening, is that we constantly focus on trying to get justice by trying to understand criminals, instead of focusing on the victims. Trying to Instead that we try to get justice, that we try to let the criminal see that they did make a mistake. What is obvious not working? We have tried for centuries. We have now created for some 100 years or something like that. I mean, I tried to get human rights by focusing on our species. We have tried also for a lot of time before that by trying to not letting black people in America, specifically the Americans, not abusing their might over blacks. But if you ask me, we should not play this game. We should play a totally different game. The game should be, how can you ask for mercy when you are not willing to extend this to ones who are totally in your power? Animal rights should be the core basis of all questions of justice. Yeah, I'm vegan. I have been vegan for around 15 years now. I've not eating animals since that time. That's actually more than half my life. Oh, the reason I'm vegan is, like I did say in the beginning of my video, is because it is not necessary to eat animals. The main reason I am vegan is because animals have a central nervous system, can suffer, feel pain, and it is unnecessary to cause them suffering and pain. And yes, the environment is a benefit, but that's not the main reason. Just like we are not going to, if slavery was causing global warming and the slave trade did create environmental damage, and if we then say that the slave trade should be abolished because it caused environmental damage, that takes the victims out of the scenario. So the reason I am vegan, and no, that's totally bullcrap. Sorry. If you have ever watched a slaughterhouse, if you've ever been in a slaughterhouse, you can see that the animals often suffer before they're dying. They're shocked, they're in pain, they're struggle. It is a terrible, smelly, dirty place. No, that's shot in the head. Don't kill them right. It's a cow. Sometimes you need to actually shoot a cow 3 times in the head before it is truly dead. Don't let yourself be fooled by that notion. And even if the animal was dead in the moment himself, is it okay for me to shoot you in the head if you are not suffering, if you are instantly dead? The taking of the life is unnecessary. Eating animals is unnecessary, so it is unnecessarily cruelty. I'm the living example of that. I've been vegan for the majority of my life. So even if the animals were instantly dead, even if that was the true, even if that story is a true, why cost a living being suffering when it is not necessary? That's the question. My question to you is, why do you want to cause suffering to a living being? Why want you to force actually industry into? Why do you want to pay or subsidize an industry that is built on the exploitation of other living beings? Since animals don't want to be food, it is and since that we don't need to eat animals to survive, why do you want to support? Animal rights veganism is about solidarity with disenfranchised group of living beings. In our society, pigs, chickens, turkeys, or in China, animals like dogs and cats, primarily. It has nothing to do with empathy. It has to do with being decent. Why? It's like I did say, you don't have to be, like I did say in other videos, you don't need to feel empathy for somebody to don't want to harm them. You don't have to love or care for people to don't be a serial killer. Respecting their life is just a simple thing. It is a moral imperative, like not abusing children. You don't have to necessarily love all children to don't abuse children. You don't necessarily have to love all women to don't be veganism is a moral imperative. And the reason why I care about the animals is because they have never harmed me ever in my whole life. Animals have probably never harmed you in your whole life, and don't lie about it. They are the most innocent, vulnerable beings on the planet. Animals, specifically the animals we eat, yeah, I think the thing with vegans versus non-vegans is that, just like with racists versus non-racists, is that the racists refuse to place themselves in the position of the suffering victim in question. It is quite easy to like Gary Yourofsky, one of my greatest heroes, once to say, if you are not a victim, don't imagine it entirely from your point of view. Because if you are not a victim, it becomes pretty easily to mock your victims, make fun of their entire existence, label them stupid and dirty, and say that their life don't matter at all, and say that they have to prove to you, the oppressor, why you should be kind to them. If you are place yourself in the oppressor's position, it is easy to find around you can find easily 20 reasons why you should oppress somebody else if you only place yourself in the oppressor's position. I'm not playing a game with you. Yeah, racism is wrong. I am opposed to all forms of arbitrary discrimination, just like speciesism. There's species with a system attached to it. Speciesism is the form of discrimination that we use when we differentiate ourselves from other earthlings, other creatures of this earth, based on arbitrary criteria. Just like with racism, we discriminate on the pigmentation of some individual. With sexism, we discriminate based on somebody's sex. Nothing else. Only the part of genitals somebody have. And the way I see it, gender is more like an fluence. Some women are more aggressive. In general, men are more aggressive to women. If you look to statistics, but discrimination based on something some group can nothing do about is arbitrary and is bigotry. That's bigotry. I think the only word I can use word is bigotry. Are you an immoralist or an amoralist? Yeah. Uh, there are a lot of restrictions on population growth in a large part of Asia. So I think their populations will disappear or lesser. But the majority of the problems on this planet, if you look to food resources, the majority of the food resources are wasted on animal agriculture. Around 80, 82% of all the children that die from starvation live in countries where their food is fed to livestock and then fed back to the West. So animal agriculture is also responsible for world hunger. Basically, around 50 to 70%, 50% is from the FAO. Of all the food on the planet is fed for livestock. 70 to 80% of the Amazon rainforest is destroyed because of cattle ranching. I personally don't discriminate on race, but if I want to, if I want to say something about a group, I don't talk about the group. I talk about what I do. I think it is okay to say something about an action of somebody. I think, however, that it is not okay to just discriminate based on something somebody cannot do something about. Just therefore, I being against speciesism, species with an ism attached to it. That's not half true. Like I did say, the majority of the food on the planet, included the food that is raised in Africa, is fed up to the West for livestock. It's transported to it. Let me look, where can I? It is not that there is not enough food. It is more that the food is not equally spread. And a lot of Western businesses exploit the third world's resources and feed that to livestock because of supply and demand. And there are tentacles in other businesses of other governments. Here about aesthetic, what I was talking about. Now I did drop it on my YouTube. But also think about it, people. Think about Adam. Think about what I just say about that animal agriculture is responsible for water. Think a little bit about people. You don't need to have you don't have to have studies even to prove that fact. Animals don't live on water and air. They are not breatharians. Breatharian is somebody who believes that he can do photosynthesis. He believes he is a plant, basically. That's totally absurd. Animals need to eat, so you waste always food resources to feed them. The lower statics for cow flesh are around 16 pounds of grains to produce 1 pound of beef. The statics can go up to 26 if you use other statics about it. Chickens are around 6 to around 4 to 6 or something like that. That's the researching rate is, so that means how effective they are in turning food into flesh of themselves. So you can research those facts for yourself if you want. Now this is an article of me actually about farming business. About if veganism can solve world hunger. Well, it can, absolutely. It takes just 1 acre of land to raise around 40,000 potatoes, 50,000 tomatoes, you can on that same piece of land also harvest around 30,000 carrots, but just around 250 pounds of flesh. Why? It takes up from 5 to 26 pounds of vegetable protein to produce 1 pound. Therefore, it is often said that animal agriculture works like a protein factory in reverse. But this does not only disintegrate protein, but also fiber, phytonutrients, minerals, and many more altogether. It takes from, if we look to the statics, if we use conservative statics, you can see that, like I did say in the link below, that you can on 1 acre of land feed around 6 vegans, but 1 vegetarian egg eater. You need 3 acres of land to feed 1 American Western style flesh eater, average style flesh eater. This is easily to understand. 70% of the US food subsidies are spent on livestock sector. I don't know where you live exactly, but I suggest United States. Or not. I don't know. I don't know you guys. What I do is often make suggestions about where people live, because I've not a magical instinct of where people come from. So that's that. Let us go to business again. Why do people try to make excuses? Why do you make excuses, people? One key essential of the word human, the word we prefer to call our species, because we claim to be humane, civilized, and better than others, even our actions prove not that so in so great aspects. We claim that we are moral. That's one of the reasons I think also we should not base our morals or choices of what we do with our food, what we choose to eat, and decide to label food based on the dietary patterns of a lion. Lions, first lions live in the wilderness. You don't. Your life is in no way a comparison with that of a lion. If you want to do things what lions do, I challenge you to lay around naked. Don't wear clothing. Live in the savannah. Try to catch wild animals with your claws and your sharp teeth that you claim to have if you are a carnivore. Try to survive with nothing more than what nature did give you. Let bugs crawl into your intestines. Let flies all walk over you. Don't take showers. Sniff the ass of any creature you come in contact with. It is only natural. Lions do it. Also, if you have a child that you don't want, go to the judge and say, lions hate their own children, so I can't do. I think it does not work like that, people. So don't base your the things that you do based on the things a lion do in the wilderness. What you can do is take the example of a little Tika. How don't eat animals. Little Tika, the lion with a sheep as best friend, how refused to eat animals because he did make, in contrary with all those people how say, but lions though. She did make the connection that she did not needed to eat animals in her case. She was poisoned by Hollywood, if you would check that story out. But her diet was substance with algae and with other stuff, some kind of special grain. And there are many cats that actually also did have it, but you have to be a bit more careful about it because cats often need far higher amounts of proteins and taurine and also some other minerals, but we live now in an age that we can actually easily substitute those things and put that into a plant-based version. We don't need to do that cruelty anymore. If we started to use our technology for something good instead of for something greedy, then the world would be so much a better place. So much a better place. We can make heaven on earth if we started to use our technology for something good instead of something to make money of. Check out my videos on YouTube, on my The Mirror of the Truth channel. I've many videos on that channel explaining why veganism is the most healthiest, the most sustainable, the most rational, the most ethical, etc. way of life. And I hope that after watching all those videos that people realize that there's no excuse against veganism. That depends. Animals are not meat, they are flesh. They are made from flesh. In contrary with the misinformed populists, you should actually call the animal flesh not meat, since it is. According to the etymology, flesh. You are a flesh eater. It did mean originally just food, not flesh. Flesh is it become flesh just quite recently, actually, if you look to the etymology of the word. So stop using that word specifically for that. Call it murdered animal body parts, or just carcass burger, or piece of that animal. Stop using euphemisms, people. I'm not a vampire. I'm just an honest, sane person. I use etymology instead of popularity. I am not convinced by the tyranny of the masses. And you? Why do you want to mimic the taste of plant products by actually putting salt and pepper and herbs and spices to your flesh? If you were truly a flesh eater, why do you eat the flesh the way the animals eat, the true carnivores eat, the lions eat? Oh yeah, you're a bunch of fake meat eaters. I like to spice things up, put some spices to it, put some oils to it, mutate the taste so it don't taste anymore like a dead corpse. So, why not eat a plant-based burger today? It's of Beyond Meat or something like that. Why not eat Beyond Meat burgers instead of animal corpse burgers, animal abuse burgers? Why do you want to pay Why do you want to pay for this? 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 Place yourself in their position. If we learn to place ourselves in the position of the suffering victims, the suffering subjects in question, instead of only listening to our own gluttonous, then the world will be a far better place. That things like the Holocaust of Jews did not happen. Serious. Auschwitz begins when somebody looks to a slaughterhouse and thinks there are only animals. Part 1. Cut. Finished. I'm gonna to do this weekend some more Q&A videos for my family. Maybe I'm cutting some of this content in this video in parts and share it on other social medias. And I hope it will open somebody's mind. And I hope this person is a better person for in Poland and can help to stop the substance of the terrorist organizations that we call animal agriculture. If you want to know why I call it terrorist organization, place yourself in the position of the animals. Place yourself in the position, in this position. Imagine this. Imagine that the day you were born, somebody else is already planning your execution, deciding how you will live, where you will live, which conditions you live, deciding any step of your life, and turning you in a commodity. Say that your life don't matter at all. Say that you are a number. Label you. This is how it is to be an animal in the animal agriculture industry. And the problem with society is apathy. The problem always is apathy for the suffering of the victims. That was the case in Nazi Germany under the control of Hitler and his government. The suffering of the victims and denying the suffering of the victims and sympathizing with the oppressors and seeing them as victims is always and have always been a main problem, in my opinion, in the planet, on this planet. If I look to history. Bye bye, people.